Hello, beautiful people. How are you, my esteemed viewers, my royal subscribers, and my YT family at large? Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tende Marwa Vlogs. To my returning subscribers, a big thank you for always finding time to come watch my videos. I don't take it for granted. If it is your first time to come across this channel, kindly hit the subscription button, not forgetting the notification bell to alert you whenever I upload a new video. And also remember to share, beautiful people. It is a beautiful evening, a bit chilly, and I think it is 7 p.m. Kenya East African time, and I've just arrived home from my hustle and tussles of life just to make the end meet. Here back in the village, I know you can hear from my background, yeah, cows mowing and goats maying. Yeah, exactly to tell you, to let you know it is evening, and we are trying to settle things to their places before it gets dark. But that aside, this night I've decided to make this video. It is long since I did such a kind of video, let's say an informative talk, sit down video. I did such a video, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, I can vividly remember I did a video 2 years ago, if I'm not wrong, if my memory serves me right. And I remember exact thing had happened. And having said exact thing has happened, I'm from nyabohanse village, and right now as we speak, I'm in the village. This is where I was born and brought up, here in nyabohanse village. That's why I love countryside or village life to some extent. As much as most of the time, for the longest, I haven't been in the village, but I was born and brought up here. Let's say yeah, that is another case of another thing. But this night I want us to talk about something very crucial, and this touches to those people who are digital creators. What am I saying? I'm referring to people who create content, to maybe content, people who publish, people who do vlogging, people who do blogging, yeah, people who publish, people who write skits, and also people who shoot skits for educative purpose, for entertainment purpose, and any other purpose, you see. So this evening there is something that has caught my attention, and I've been busy, but today during my free time I just saw something very funny. It is funny, yes, and at the same time it is so not good per se. I want us to talk a little bit about media law and ethic. This pertains, kindly guys, this video is specific for those people who are creating content online, especially if you are a new content creator. And I've come to realize here in our village, most of us just, so long as you have a phone, so long as you have a GoPro, which of some of them, most of the people here in the village, the GoPros, some are gifted, some are bought, some are being donated. People just wake up and begin vlogging. People wake up and start creating content, of which is not a bad thing because it is creating employment. But something funny is that most of us never take time to learn more about what entails content creation, what entails the do's and the don'ts of digital creation. It is so sad, I'm sorry to say so, because if someone can find Wi-Fi or internet to upload a video of 45 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, why don't you also find this internet to go through and learn more about digital creation, the do's and the don'ts of digital creation? Having said that, this evening I want us to speak about cyberbullying per se, but I want us to specifically talk about defamation. When you talk of defamation, because that's what is going on right now here in the village, I did a video, I think 2 years ago, speaking or talking about defamation, and people came guns blazing at me, and they were so hostile, so hostile, some writing me emails, some leaving nasty comments down below my videos. Even I am so grateful to the YouTube community, because some of the comments were held back for me to review before publishing them. So I would review and delete the comments, because at first I felt so bad, I felt demoralized, but by then I was new. I was new in vlogging. So, but right now, honestly, I've developed a thick skin. And I came to realize so many people who are bullying me, people who are throwing nasty comments at me, nasty emails that are literally paragraphs, were not even my subscribers. So unfortunate. So this evening I want us to talk about media law and ethic, and specifically I want us to talk about defamation. When you hear someone saying you've defamed me in one way or another, through your publication, through your writing, through your audio or oral, wherever content, you've defamed me. What comes in your mind? That's what I want us to a little bit talk about it this night before we go to sleep. Well, defamation is a false statement that has been made to appear to be true, and this statement ends up causing injury to the character of the person that is spoken against to. Are we together? Let me speak like a teacher. Are we together? Defamation also can be defined as, in other words, as a publication or a statement that is not true, that is untrue, that is false, that has been published, and it is made to be true, hence causing injury to the character of the person that it has been made against, which sometimes makes the person to be shunned by the society. As I've told you, defamation can be libel or slander. Slander, so many of us knows what is slandering. Slandering is just making rumors, creating up false stories about someone, and they end up distorting the person's name, and at the end of the day leading to character assassination. Having said that, what is character assassination, by the way? When you defame someone, that process of defaming someone, making false accusation or statement or publication about someone that are not true and they appear to be true, you make them appear to be true. Hence, the people who are consuming it, they create a certain picture, they create a certain image of this person that is not in real sense true. So therefore making the person being shunned from the society, maybe the business or what. So after that process, it leads to character assassination. So character assassination comes in after someone has defamed you, in which the state that you are left after someone has defamed you, after someone has spoken ill about you, and false, and the statements are false, and you make them to appear to be true. And after being consumed by your viewers or your supporters or the people who follow you, they tend to have a certain image about someone. For example, let me take an example. This is person A. Person A is Beth. Then I decide to call person A which should a scammer. Let me use the word scammer. Yeah, I call Beth a scammer, and in real sense Bethy or Beth is not a scammer. I twist words and make Beth to appear as a scammer. And this bet, maybe she has a business, she has a company to run. In the process, the reputation of Betty tends to deteriorate, and hence affecting her business, and people maybe shun her, they stop maybe buying from her, they stop maybe associating with her because she's a scammer, and it is something that began as a rumor. In the process, the character is killed. It's called character assassination. Basically, this is the state which you are left in after someone has falsely published false statement that tend to be that are not true, and they that tend not to be true, but the person makes them to be true. The state in which you are left in after defamation, that's what we call character assassination. One can be reliable of defamation if or she has published a statement, either orally or written. Let me say, if you have published a statement, let me take an example of a blogger or a vlogger, whatever. Pronunciation, English is not my first language. Let's take an example of a vlogger or a blogger, and you decide to defame someone, write false accusation about this person, and there is evidence that you've written ill about this person, and whatever you have written in real sense it is not true, but you have made it to appear to be true. Therefore, you are reliable for defamation. Number 2, if you'll only be found reliable if the statement that you published, either orally or written, is actually false. You'll surely be reliable for defamation. And number 3, one can be reliable for defamation if the statement they are published actually caused harm to the person that it was spoken against. Therefore, you can be found guilty as charged if the statement bears three characteristics. If there is evidence that the statement that you've published, it was published either orally or written. Second, if the statement you publish is actually false. And number 3, if the statement that was published has caused actual harm on the person that it was spoken against. One can be charged or prosecuted for defamation if the prosecutor investigates and find out that it is true. There are above 3 statements that I've mentioned that are true, that if the person has really suffered, it has caused harm, actual harm on this person's character. And if the statement that was published is really actually false, and if the statement is there, it is evident, written orally, it is orally or written. If someone after the prosecutor, let's say prosecutor found done the investigation and found someone is guilty as charged, one can be given a punishment of being jailed for 2 years, or being given a penalty of not exceeding 5 million Kenyan shillings. Having said that, if you are from Kenya right now, I know you know of the late blogger who was arrested last year, and this caused protest in the streets of Nairobi. There is a young man who was a blogger. He wrote a post about a certain let's say government official, where he was accusing this government official to be corrupt. And at the end of the day, this young man was arrested. And his story ended so badly because after being arrested in an evening, the following day, this young man was found dead. That's so unfortunate. And he was arrested under the Cybercrime Act. in Kenya right now, it is an electioneering period. We are heading to an electioneering period because next year we shall be voting. Right now, the cohesion and integration team are so alert. They have put the police on alert. If anyone happens to report a case of hate speech, a case of defamation, slander, whatever, anything to do with cyberbullying and hate speech, the case is taken very serious. By the way, it is taken very serious, because right now they're trying to bring cohesion, and anyone who is trying to to create separation, to create hatred amongst people, the person is taken serious. This is an advice to most of the Kenyan digital creators, let me say so. And one thing is that some people are very bright, some people are very clever. They end up taking advantage of other people who are naive. I'm sorry to use the word. Some people who are naive, who are not aware of whatever is going on. If I want to pee my malice to other people, to create hate speech, I will come and unknowingly, without you knowing, I will use your platform to spew hatred, to spew separation, to spew cyberbull someone through your platform. But to you, you'll be so innocent, knowing that you have given me a chance, we are talking or relating. But according to Cybercrime Act Section 23, if I give out my platform to someone to come and air his or her grievances, and these grievances tend to harm someone's character, I'm in for it. Because automatically I become an accomplice. An accomplice not because I've written, it's because I gave out a chance to this person to create hate or strife among two people. And this is where you'll find, if you're a digital creator, be very careful. Whatever you share on your platform, be it on Facebook, be it on Twitter, be it on Instagram, be it on YouTube, be very careful as a Kenyan content creator right now. Yeah, because the cohesion and integration wherever committee is on a high alert. They have agents all over the country, and the police are on high alert. You know, the kind of police force wherever we have, they don't go untouched. Whenever they come to arrest someone and they find out that the person they're looking for is not around, they will end up taking you so that you can lead them where the main person is. If you are someone who has been watching a lot of interviews right now, there is a time here in certain mainstream houses that were accused of giving a platform to a certain politician who was spilling hatred. And these media houses end up paying a penalty. It was both the radio and TV. I don't want to mention them here. Both on radio and on TV, they ended up paying because they were accused, and they were called in to be, they were termed as accomplished. They are accomplished, or they were in cahoots to spread hate speech. Having said that, beautiful people, so let's be careful with whom we host on our channels, and with what we post on our social media, on what we share, and especially these trends where we tweet and retweet. You'll be in for it. You know, the rules are there. So if you're a digital creator, kindly find time, read out. You know, I'm saying this because of the case that is going on here. Anne's journey, this young girl, very innocently, she did host a content creator. And this content creator has been bashing one of the content creator here in our village. And she hosted this content creator innocently. Honestly, she did it innocently. Because if you can see from the beginning of that video, I don't know whether it is still up, she said, I want it to be on record, of which she was okay. She was right. That for me, she was right on my opinion. She was right. Yeah, she wanted to be on record so that she doesn't get misquoted. But at the end of the day, she has become a collateral damage. That's why we say in Swahili language, mtego wa panya kumshika ama mkamata asiyekuwemo ama ushika na kumkamata aliyekuwemo na asiyekuwemo. Because right now, if she happened to get a lawsuit, of which I don't know, I can't verify that. If she happens to get a lawsuit, she'll have a case to answer. Why? Because she allowed someone to use her platform to air out her own hatred or strife. And that's what really caused that young girl. I feel so bad for her because she was so innocent. I've never seen that girl speaking ill of the content creator that has been mentioned. I've never heard her speaking of ill of that content creator. Always what she does, she's about positivity. That young girl is always about being positive all along. But me, one thing I do say in content creation, especially digital content creation, there is nothing like a negative reactor nor positive reactor. A reactor is a reactor because you are reacting to something. Yeah, you are giving your opinion about something, right? Like right now, I'm reacting to whatever is going on. So if you say there is a positive reactor, negative reactor, no. To me, that's according to me. There is nothing like a negative reactor or a positive reactor. The only thing I think comes in is how we see things. Someone may be seeing it from angle A, and I may be seeing it from angle B. So if I see it from angle B, it doesn't make me lesser of a person who is seeing it from angle A. It is all about opinion and freedom of expression according to Kenyan Constitution. If you read them, in the Kenyan Constitution, Act 34-35, there is freedom of speech and also freedom of what? You are allowed to give your opinion about something. But it's so unfortunate that this young lady ended up being a collateral damage. Yeah, to me, she's a collateral damage. And if someone asks me if she has a case to answer, if indeed there is a lawsuit against her, she has a case to answer because her platform was used. And one thing that caught my attention, I tried looking for that video, I didn't get it. It's the person who was hosted in her channel. This person never posted on her channel. I just don't know why. Maybe the person was waiting, giving it time so that he can post it later. Like for me, sometimes my videos are not timely. Yeah, but I don't know. But in real sense, I don't know. Everyone has her own intention. But I'm so sorry, and I feel so bad for this young girl. She has a future ahead of her. She's still young. She's in college, and Jani is still young. Now she's trying to figure out, yeah, her life. And here, boom, getting arrested innocently. That's what we call collateral damage. My goodness, that's what we call collateral damage. It once happened to me, so I know what I'm talking about. You can be someone's collateral damage knowingly and unknowingly. So that's why we should be very careful as a content creator right now, because we are in an electioneering period here in Kenya. Anything to do with strife, anything that will cause separation, hatred, and cyberbullying, it is taken serious. Believe you me, it's being taken serious. As I've told you, there is a day I told a certain man here in the village, here in the center. I was doing my vlog, and the guy called me a cult member, to quote. And quote unquote, here in the village right now, something funny is that the content creators on the ground in nyabohanse village are known to be cult members. That's for how they are known right now. They are known to be I don't know, very nasty names. I don't know. I don't want to mention them here. For record, I don't want to mention them here. Content creators, right now, if you say you are a YouTuber here in nyabohanse village, we have been branded a very, very bad image. And I once told someone, if you repeat once again to call me that name that you just called me, you shall face the law. And I was serious about it. And because here in the ground we are known differently as devil worshippers, as cult members, as YouTube is known as a cult. That's what they say. It has been known as the other people doing whatever they are doing to earn money. So right now they have been branded a certain name. But online, Kenya, once YouTubers are known as scammers. That is what the brand has the streets has perceived as. If you ask me, that is also defamation, because making a statement that is false to appear to be true, that is defamation. And I told, like the last meeting, I wasn't in the village. There is a government official who had a certain meeting, baraza, and content creators' names were read out. And I was meant to understand the names were generally read out just to give a warning to all the content creators. But some ended up cropping other names and using other names for their content creation. That is so bad, because I did a follow-up and I was told those names were read. They were read out to give a warning, not that those names were shortlisted because they're the ones who were indulging in whatever was going on, whatever the government officials spoke about. Yeah. And I was so mad at first, but later I asked a certain lady who was like, whenever she used to see people vlogging, she used to raise alarm like, you people, you have and I shunned them. Having said that, another thing that I've noticed with nyabohanse content creators, it is so illegal, my friends, to record someone with phone call without the person giving you a leeway, without the person giving you permission to record him or her. It is not allowed. So stop this nonsense of you people recording someone over the phone. Like, you call someone, ask someone about something, and you begin recording this person, and you end up using the recorded phone call. That is so bad, and you can be prosecuted for that. For real, you can be prosecuted for that. That's breach of privacy. Unless if you call me and let me know you are recording me, and then I will give you go ahead and tell you to record. Unless you're doing an investigation and you're sorry, if you are a licensed journalist who is doing an investigation, you are at liberty to record someone. But if you are doing it for content creation, it isn't allowed. Very soon, you people will end up being in custody for things that you never intended. You see it isn't an ill intention, but to the person it is an ill intention. That's what I wanted us to speak about this night. Give your honest opinion about defamation and slander. As I've already told you, defamation can be in form of slander or libel, but the penalty is 2 years, and also you can end up paying up to 5 million Kenyan shillings. And I'm talking out of experience because I have a friend who is a writer. This lady, she called in, as right now we are in the era of the of AI, artificial intelligence. Once I call you, the moment I say hello, hi, you tap my voice the first 30 seconds, and you can still use that voice to create another conversation with my voice. So this lady was called. She was doing an interview with a certain, I don't want to mention, with a certain government official. So the PA took the voice of this lady and manipulated it to tend to say some nasty words. And that's one way of defaming. In this era of digital creation, by the time they knew, they were able to verify that she was not the one who spoke those words. Time had already a lot of damage had been done, and damage control was so hard. So my urge to every content creator, I know some of you will bash me, be like I'm talking nonsense as usual. My fellow content creators from Nyabohanse village, be very careful. Find time, read about Cybercrime Act, yeah, Section 23, especially Section 23 of Cybercrime Act in Kenya. Computer misuse and whatever. That's what we call Cybercrime Act. Computer misuse and cybercrime, wherever. Act 20, Section 23. It will help you out. You can go also read Chapter 34, 35 of our new constitution. It will help you a lot. Where there is yes, we have freedom of speech, but there is a very thin line between freedom of speech and cyberbullying. Maybe next time when I find time, I'll do a vlog. I'll do a video on cyberbullying, and we can talk more. Thank you for your time. My name is Tendemaro Vlog. As usual, if it's your first time, kindly go hit that subscription button. If I find time, I will do another video on cybercrime. See you. Ciao. Good night from me to you. Bye.